So, for example, let's say you had, a battery that had an 80% efficiency. And for example, you were able to feed into it 5 kilowatt hours. If you fed or charged the batteries with 5 kilowatt hours and you only Hi guys, welcome to AsherGad channel, making Africa home again, one family at a time. Trust you are all doing well wherever you are on the four corners of this earth, making gradual plans to make your dreams become a reality. Love to all our subscribers, those who like, share and comment, and also special appreciation also to our PayPal and Patreon families respectively. All right, so welcome again. It's another Tuesday, 6 p.m. GMT, to another video from Asher and Gad. So what are we talking about today? Today we're going to talk about how to choose the best battery for your solar system. Okay, but please stay to the end because there is some bonus information at the end, which is really a very wonderful experience for us in the home. Okay, so how to choose the best battery for your solar system, and I think this will be the last in this sort of mini series on solar, because obviously we discussed the first video we did a video of years ago, but we sort of rekindled it about 3 weeks ago. We did a video about understanding the basics of solar systems, and if you haven't watched that video, click up here. Okay, we then followed that up with a video I did last week, which was all about comparing UPS versus solar. Again, if you haven't watched that video, please click up here. And today I'm going to round off the solar system discussion. At this moment in time, we're going to round off with describing how to choose the best battery for your solar system. All right, so without any further ado, let's get right into it. I'm out in nature today, as you can see, breathing the good fresh air that these lovely plants afford us. So I hope you enjoy the new scenery. But I'm not moving about, as I don't want to give anybody a roller coaster experience that I did a few weeks ago. So that was really good feedback. So I'm staying stationary in this particular video. Hope you enjoyed. So now, how do you choose the best battery for your solar system? All right, there are a number of factors to consider when it comes to choosing the battery for your solar system. All right, let's just go through the factors. There's the capacity and the power rating of the battery, number one. Number two, the depth of discharge, otherwise known as the DOD. Okay, the efficiency, some people call it the round trip efficiency, the warranty of the battery system that has been provided, and also the actual manufacturer, where you're getting it from. So let's just take each in turn very briefly to give you guys a nice overview. All right, so first up, the capacity and the power rating. What do I mean by both of these terms? The capacity, as I explained in one of the videos I did for about 3 weeks ago, is the capacity is all about the amount of electricity that your battery can store. Okay, or if you like, the amount of energy that your battery can store, and that is measured in kilowatt hours. Okay, so for example, if you had if you had a 5,000 watt hour battery or a 5 kilowatt hour battery, and the load of your building, okay, was, let's say you were using the batteries in the evening, which is typically what you do. If the load of your building in the evening was 500 watts, okay, then what that means is that 500 watt hour battery will be able to support your building for 10 hours, because 5,000 watt hours divided by 500, okay, divided by 500 watts gives you 10 hours. Right, so the capacity is the amount of energy or the amount of electricity that your battery can store, and really based on the load of your building, you will know how long the battery can power your building for. That's the first item. Now, the second item of the battery, there is the power rating. What do I mean by the power rating? Now, the power rating is slightly different. Let me give you an example. I've got a a battery bank myself. Now that battery bank, it actually can give me 2,400 watt hours. However, the battery bank has 2 sockets at the back, and you can plug whatever you want into those sockets, but those sockets are limited to 1,000 watts. Okay, so what it means is that you can't plug in any appliance that needs to draw more than 1,000 watts of power, because what it means is that you know that the power is, you know, directly proportional to the current. Okay, and the current is also directly proportional to the amount of copper, if you like, within the equipment or within the sockets. Okay, and if you draw more than the copper of the sockets can let's say withstand, then there could be a fire risk. In other words, you are exceeding the rating. So although there's a picture on your screen of the power bank I'm talking about, although this power bank you're seeing is 2,400 watt hours, okay, and can deliver 2,400 watts in an hour when it's fully charged, you cannot plug in anything that is rated higher than 1,000 watts, because if you do, you'll be exceeding the rating of the sockets, and therefore the system would disconnect and overload in order not to cause a fire. Okay, now hopefully that was self-explanatory, but I'll go again. You know, any piece of copper, be it a cable or a socket, has a rating. For example, a socket as on your screen is normally a 13 amp socket. Okay, now you can have, let's say, I don't know, 10 amps going through a 13 amp socket for a number of hours. Okay, if that 13 amp socket is supported by a battery for a number of hours until the energy of the battery runs out. But you cannot plug something that is 15 or 20 amps into that socket, because that is higher than the rating of the socket. This is the analogy, and that's what I mean. Okay, so those are the 2 factors you need to consider when it comes to capacity and power rating. Okay, now there are certain instances where you can have a battery that has a high capacity but a low power rating. What does that mean in reality to you? It means that it can support a given load for a long time, but only, you know, it's sort of like a reduced load because it has a lower power rating. Okay, or it could have a low capacity and a high power rating, meaning that it can support if it has a high power rating but a low capacity, maybe it can support your entire home. Okay, because it has that high power rating. Okay, let's say if your home needs 100 amp, maybe it's got that rating, can support the entire, it can deliver that entire 100 amp in terms of its rating, but because its capacity may be low, it can maybe only deliver that 100 amps for only a short period of time. So there's a balance there between the capacity and the power rating. All right, so hopefully that analogy works for you guys. Right, second point, depth of discharge. This is a common term that is used. The acronym is DOD. All right, and what is DOD? Depth of discharge. And what it means is, every battery has got a DOD, which is basically once the battery is fully charged, okay, how much can you drain the battery before you potentially cause damage to it. Okay, some batteries can give you an 80% DOD, some a 90% DOD. Now basically, the higher the DOD, the better it is for you, because it means you can use a significant amount of the battery capacity, okay, before you have to charge it again. Now don't forget, charging the battery, whether you're charging it if you're charging by solar, then obviously that's free energy. But if you're charging with ECG or the generator, then obviously charging the battery is costing you money. There's an economic impact on that. So you want the battery with the highest level of DOD as possible. Okay, so that's the second factor. Factor number 3, the efficiency. Some people call it the round trip efficiency. Now, imagine, efficiency is very important. The higher the efficiency of any electrical system, battery or whatever it is, the better that is for you. Because if something is more efficient, then it means it needs, let's say, less energy for it to operate. Or in this case, the battery needs less energy for it to be charged to its full capacity. So, for example, let's say you had, a battery that had an 80% efficiency. And for example, you were able to feed into it 5 kilowatt hours. If you fed or charged the batteries with 5 kilowatt hours and you only got out of the battery 4 kilowatt hours, then that means the battery is only 80% efficient, which means it can only use 80% of the energy that it's receiving at its input. The energy that is being used to charge the battery, only 80% of that can be used to support your load. Okay, and that is efficiency. Now obviously the higher the efficiency, the better it is for you, the more economical it is for you, the less you'll be paying to your ECG bills if ECG is charging your battery. Okay, if it, let's say, is 90% efficient, okay, then it means that if you give it 5 kilowatt hours, let's say, of energy to your battery, okay, and is 90% efficient, it means the battery can support a load of 4.5 kilowatts. Okay, and you're only losing a kilowatt hour, sorry, and you're only losing half a kilowatt hour. So again, the higher the efficiency of your battery, the better it is for you, the more economic it is for you. Okay. Now, sorry, let me give another analogy of the depth of discharge. Going back again, I talked about the higher the depth of discharge, the better it is. So if you have a 90% depth of discharge and you have a 10 kilowatt hour battery, it means that you can use, let's say, 9 kilowatt hours of the battery's energy before you have to charge it again. Okay, rather than a 50% depth of discharge, so on and so forth. Higher the DOD, the better. All right, so we talked about DOD, round trip efficiency. Now let's talk about the penultimate factors. These are battery life and warranty. Okay, now the life of a battery, that really is a tricky one. Okay, batteries can last anywhere between 5 and 15 years. Okay, but there are a number of factors that influence the life of the battery. But before we get into that, guys, let's just go for a short break and we'll be right back. Are you looking to build your dream home in Ghana? Or are you building already? Would you benefit from regular site visits to monitor your building and receive regular progress reports? Well, if that's the case, and that's you, look no further. AsherGad Consultancy at your service. We offer the following services: electrical design, construction monitoring inspections, site progress reports, consultation for all items MEP, witnessing of testing and commissioning, periodic snagging, vetting of specialist subcontractors. We also report site activities to you to hopefully help you spend your money efficiently and much, much more. Get in contact for your building needs. Details on the screen. AsherGad Consultancy, making Africa home again, one family at a time. So, in terms of the battery life, okay, and the warranty. Now, the life of a battery is really dependent on a number of factors. Now, throughout the life of your solar battery, you are going to charge the battery and discharge the battery on pretty much a daily basis. Okay, now one complete charge and one complete discharge down to the lowest level is what we call a cycle. Okay, now some manufacturers will guarantee your battery for 5,000 cycles. Some will guarantee your battery for, let's say, 10 years at 70% of its original capacity. What do I mean by that? The manufacturer will say that I'm giving you this battery and you have a warranty of 10 years at 70%, which means what they are saying is that at the end of the 10-year period, your battery will be able to deliver at least 70% of its original capacity. So if you have a, make numbers simple, a 1,000 watt hour battery that you buy on day one, what they're saying is at the end of the 10-year period, they will guarantee you 700 watt hours. And that would be the basis of a warranty. Now, solar batteries are pretty much like any other battery, or like the batteries in your cell phone. And we've all had this experience before. You buy a new cell phone and it charges very quickly, and the battery within the phone, it holds its charge for a long time. You can charge it once, and the battery takes for a long time before it's completely run dry or discharged because it's new. But obviously, after a while, 2-3 years. And that's pretty much why you have the phone contracts that are 2 years, 3 years. Because after that 2-3 year period, you realize that the battery, after you charge your phone battery, the battery loses its charge much quicker than when it was brand new. Okay, because batteries naturally degrade over time. They naturally lose their ability to hold their charge over the course of time. Okay, so watch out for the terms of the warranty. Typically you'd get 10 years, but watch out for the terms. 10 years at what percentage of its original capacity, and go for the highest, obviously. Now, in terms of manufacturers, that's where you need to do your own research, really. Depending on which company you go for in Ghana, whether it's SPSS or Solar Power Ghana, whatever it may be, find out who the battery manufacturer is. Some don't necessarily tell you, and do your own research on that manufacturer. How long have they been in business? Maybe contact them directly. How long have they been in business? How many batteries have they supplied? And so on, so forth. Okay, because obviously the battery manufacturer, in terms of the quality of the manufacturer, where they're built, etc., that will vary. That will absolutely vary. So you need to sort of do your own research and decide on that. Okay, so just touching on the general solar battery lifespan. Okay, now solar batteries, their lifespan is generally between 5 and 15 years. Okay, now this means that over the lifespan, over the life expectancy of your solar system, in terms of your the solar PV panels and the inverter, which normally has between 25 and 30 years of a lifespan, you would definitely need to change your batteries at least once. And if you're going to purchase a solar system, you need to take that into account to see if it's really worthwhile, in terms of your return on investment. Because your return of investment, you look at how much you're going to spend up front, you look at the batteries that you need to replace at least once in the 25 to 30 year period, and etc., etc. You need to definitely replace the battery at least once. Now, obviously, the maintenance of the battery will also have an impact on its life. So if you can get sort of sealed, maintenance-free type batteries, and that will also obviously help, but come with a premium cost up front. Okay, now obviously the storage of the batteries also has an impact. You need to store your batteries in a well-ventilated environment. Keep the windows open, make it well-ventilated so that the temperatures are optimum for the battery performance. Now, if a battery is too hot, it does not perform optimally. Okay, if a battery is too cold, again, it does not perform optimally. So again, when you are buying the batteries, okay, or from the solar provider, find out with the data sheet on the batteries what is the optimum operating temperature for the batteries that you are going to purchase, and make that optimum temperature available in your home. All right, that will help to maintain the life of your battery and help to, if you like, guarantee that it lasts the 10 years that you expect it to last, and deliver you the capacity that is stated to deliver you at the end of the 10-year period. All right? Okay, now to the final part of this let's say presentation is, what is the best battery for your solar system? Now, there are a number of different types of batteries, but I'm going to characterize them into 3 different types. We have number 1, the lead acid battery. Some people call it gel acid battery or VRLA as well, which is valve regulated lead acid, pretty much the same thing. So lead acid, type 1. Type 2 would be your lithium ion, okay? And then type 3, not in that much abundance in the market, is a salt water type of battery, okay? Now, taking each in turn, now, in terms of the lead acid batteries, okay, this, I have to say, is a tested technology. It's been used for off-grid energy systems for decades, okay? But, obviously, it has a relatively short lifespan and a lower sort of DOD compared to some other type of batteries, okay? But that comes because it's the least expensive options, really, that is currently on the market in terms of home energy storage, okay? Lead acid batteries or gel batteries would be the least expensive option in terms of home energy storage, okay? But what can I say? For homeowners who want to go off-grid, okay, and need to install lots and lots of energy storage, lead acid can be a good option for you. All right, so that's one to consider. Number 2, lithium ion. Now, lithium ion is what most manufacturers will recommend to you for home energy storage for good reason. What are those reasons? Okay, the lithium ion batteries, they are lighter, they are more compact than the lead acid batteries. Okay, they have a higher depth of discharge. Okay, which means you're going to get more out of the stored energy. Okay, on the lithium ion than you are the lead acid. Okay, they have a longer lifespan compared to the lead acid batteries. Okay, and actually they can actually be stored in higher temperatures than the lead acid battery as well. Okay, however, because of all these factors, okay, lithium ion batteries are far more expensive than their lead acid counterparts. All right. So guys, the third and final type of battery I wanted to talk about is the salt water battery. Okay, now out of all these three, this is, if you like, more of a newcomer to the home energy market. It's, I would say, you know, it's rather untested, but it's the most renewable of all the three types. Okay, it's very easy to recycle a salt water battery because it doesn't contain the heavy metals compared to the lithium ion or the lead acid. It rather uses the salt electrolytes in order to deliver its electricity. Disposing of the salt water battery is fairly easy. As I said, it's quite recyclable, whereas with the lithium ion and the lead acid, you have to go through some special processes in order to dispose of them. But overall, the salt water battery is relatively untested, so you know, I wouldn't recommend that now anyway, until after a few years when some more testing and more manufacturers come to the market who are offering the salt water battery. Okay, so guys, I've got this comparison table on your screen, which compares, you know, three key items or criteria, and that is the cost, the lifespan, and the depth of discharge. Now, ideally, you want one with the lowest cost, the longest lifespan, and the highest depth of discharge. That is what you really want, you know. But unfortunately, you can't always get the perfect combination. Okay, so if you look at that comparison table, you can see lead acid would be your cheapest, the gel acid type, and I'll show you some figures to prove that. The lifespan will be the shortest, and it will have the lowest depth of discharge. Okay, lithium ion will be the most expensive. Okay, give you the longest lifespan. Okay, and have, if you like, a medium depth of discharge. Okay, the salt water content type of battery, medium cost, medium lifespan, and the highest depth of discharge. Okay, so this is the comparison between all three. Although, again, there are certain manufacturers out there who are offering lithium ion batteries these days with 90 to even 100% depth of discharge. I'm quite dubious about the 100%, but they are offering it. So, you know, tread with caution in that scenario. Okay, tread with caution. Okay, guys, I just thought I'd give you some figures, as we always like to do. Some time ago, I think it was maybe 2021, I got some quotations from a solar manufacturer here in Ghana, lithium ion batteries versus the PB gel type lead acid batteries. Whilst these are not the same energy ratings, it just gives you an idea, and it really matches the comparison table I just showed you. So, first quotation on your screen, okay. You can see that I'll try and highlight the cost for you. The lithium ion battery, which in this scenario is a 32 kilowatt hour battery, okay, has a cost of 154,946 Ghana cedis, okay, and gives a guaranteed lifespan from the manufacturer of 10 to 15 years. Okay, not bad. Okay, versus, here's another quotation on your screen, and this is a PB gel acid lead acid battery. Okay, that one, the quotation I got here was for 57.6 kilowatt hours of lead acid battery, and that was basically 2.4 kilowatt hour per battery and 24 of them, so 57.6 kilowatt hour batteries, lead acid. Far more energy than the lithium ion, but much cheaper, about almost 30% cheaper, at a cost of 111,888 Ghana cedis. Okay, but only offering you a 5 to 7 year lifespan. Some lead acid batteries, they will give you 3 to 5 year lifespan. So there you see, you know, the factors that will influence your choice or your decision. Okay, now, to be honest with you, considering all the factors, and obviously if you are going to go for a solar system, then I would say go for lithium ion, because that's really, it ticks all the boxes, apart from the fact that it's a bit more costly. All right, so someone would say, with all this considered, the big question is solar really worth it? Okay, is solar really worth it? Now, the short answer is, if I'm to be perfectly honest, the short answer is, based on the cost of normal electricity, based on the cost of having a standby generator, the short answer would be no, really. Especially here in Ghana, the short answer would be no. Economically, okay, economically. Now, in more developed countries like the UK and maybe the US as well, the government gives you more incentives to get solar systems. There's something called the feed-in tariff in the UK, where in addition to obviously the free energy you're getting, the government gives you some financial incentive. They pay you in a sense a rate called the feed-in tariff for having a solar system. So when you consider that, it will reduce the payback period in order for you to get the return on your investment much quicker. So over there, maybe it's a little bit more worth it. But even then, the payback is still quite long. You're talking 15 years at least. So overall, economically, not too great solar systems. Okay, but obviously, if you have an aspirations to be completely off grid, you know, you're living in an RV or you have an off grid home, then obviously solar is the way to go. You know, that's absolutely the way to go if that's your decision. And you may have various reasons for that decision. You know, if I'm going to create maybe a fictitious doomsday scenario where there's no power and nothing available, then you'll be actually smiling if you had a solar system, because you'll be completely independent. Absolutely. So that'd be great. But even then, I mean, someone would say if it is a doomsday scenario that, you know, you could arguably live without electricity. Absolutely. You know, you can't live without water, but you can live without electricity, for sure. For sure. Okay, so I think that's the solar batteries in a nutshell. Okay, we've been through the various factors that you need to consider to understand which battery is best for you. You know, what are those factors again? Capacity and power rating. Okay, the depth of discharge, DOD, the efficiency, the warranty, and the manufacturer. The warranty, check it. Is it based on, you know, the number of years? 10 to 15 years, and what is the guaranteed percentage output at the end of the 10 or 15 years? Very important. Okay, we talked about the life of a battery and what factors influence the life of a battery, the storage temperature, ventilation, etc. So we hope that allows you to make the right decision for yourself if you decide to purchase a solar system. Right, and now for the bonus information at the end. So, you know, when you design a system, you know, it's your baby, if you like, and, you know, when it stands up to the test, then, you know, it's so actually marvelous, so elated. So last night, I really had a rough night, didn't sleep very well at all. And I think that was largely because for some reason, the electricity was fluctuating. You know, we've got a battery in our room, and when the power goes off, it makes a noise. And the battery just kept on making the noise every 5 or 10 minutes. Really frustrating. I got up, put the lights on, tried to check what's going on. You know, the houses around us, quite a few of them had power. Some were off, but some had power. The ceiling fan would go on and off. The lights would flicker, and I thought, what's going on here? So I thought nothing of it. I just slept again. It happened again. Woke up again, and now I completely had enough. The lights were completely off. Looked outside. About half of the houses outside were on, the other half were not on. So I thought, let me go down to my electrical room. I was kind of panicked. Is there something wrong with the AVR? What's going on? So here is a video that I took for you guys. Just have a listen for yourself, and we'll be back. Okay, guys. Here it is. Here we are in the electrical room. I'm so excited. I'm so, you know, elated. You know, when you design something and it really stands the test, is absolutely amazing. So here we are on L1. Okay, the system is on L1, as you can see. Yeah, switch on L1. Okay, there is no power in the house whatsoever. Okay, no lights on. All right, so very frustrating throughout the night. I just came over here, switched to L2, bang, bang, and then here we are, bingo, the lights come straight back on after a couple of seconds. Bang, we're on 248 in 218 nominal, all lights on, and I'm really pleased. really pleased. We've lived here for 3 months now. This has happened twice, but this is the first time I'm catching it on camera. So very pleased that this multi-phase design has worked perfectly. Well, hope you enjoyed that. There you go, guys. There you go. The system works, and I'm absolutely very happy that we designed the system. The house is a reasonable size to allow a single phase to support it at any time. And I think what was happening was L1 at the time in the area was significantly loaded, so therefore it was having a lot of instability and eventually went off. But we just switched to L2 and everything was perfect. Absolutely overjoyed with that. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. As usual, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button so you always be aware when Asher and Gad upload a new video for your educational and viewing pleasure. All right, so for me, it's a goodbye for now until next Tuesday at 6 p.m. GMT. From Gad, it's Kemesia, and for me, guys, Yebeshia. See you next time.